Welcome. We're glad that you're interested in Santa Clara. We're sorry you can't be here to visit our beautiful campus and to meet our wonderful faculty and students. This video is meant to help you understand what it might mean to enter Santa Clara as an undeclared engineer. I know there's often a lot of fears or concerns, so I'm trying to alleviate some of those. I have some kind of FAQs for you and just also some additional information on how you can get involved and determine what you'd like to do for your career and how Santa Clara can help you get there. So first of all, I have just a when to enter college undeclared. I know many of you are wrestling with, should I declare a major or not, even if I'm not sure. Ultimately, we're looking for you to say yes to all of these things before declaring a major. And if your answer to some of these is no, that's fine. Being undeclared is one way to explore some of those interests. So things like, have you learned enough about multiple majors and compared them so you can make an informed decision? Do you know what the requirements are for your prospective major? Have you researched career options that are available to students who are majoring in this field? If you know all of these, then you should be ready to make a decision. And if you don't, that's okay. You have time to explore it as an undeclared student. So what does it mean to be undeclared? It just means that you're beginning your college experience with an exploratory period. It can be time to confirm your interests, to find new interests, to find if your interests align with any particular major. The reality is that a lot of people in college tend to switch their majors, sometimes multiple times. The numbers agree that somewhere between 50 and 70% of students have switched their major at some point in their time, in their college career before graduating. That's a lot. They didn't take the time to explore and instead started off with a major and ended up switching it. That's a way to go. But being undeclared gives you the freedom where you don't have to necessarily follow a degree plan while you're trying to make that decision. So a couple facts and questions that I was hoping to answer. Will checking undecided on my application make me appear directionless, wishy-washy, or lacking in passion? No. What it means is that you're open-minded, that you want to explore majors before committing to a major. What if I have a wide variety of interests or am interested in a combination program? That's great. We have multiple programs that sit at the intersection of some of them. And then you start in our Introduction to Engineering courses, which should give you a better idea of the engineering profession, some of its disciplines, and the skills needed to become an engineering student and ultimately a successful engineer. I'm going to give you one example. This is from our General Engineering program, but you can see how closely the undeclared first year looks like a General Engineering first year. It's also going to look very similar to any other engineering first year, where you're taking your fundamental maths and science, you're getting introduction to some engineering work, and then you're also completing some of your core classes. So if you come in undeclared, when do you declare? First of all, I just want to make sure that you understand there's no rush. You can take time to explore. You can take up to your first 2 years. The deadline to declare is spring quarter of your sophomore year. Of course, if you come in with a lot of credit, AP credit or other college courses, you may need to declare a little bit earlier because you have to declare after you have 88 units under your belt. Ultimately, the decision on when to declare is yours. Check in with your academic advisor and your peer advisors and tell them what you're thinking. We will help you make decisions and we will help you declare when you're ready. Ultimately, what I like to focus on is not necessarily what major you want to be, but what problem do you want to solve? A lot of times our undeclared students just aren't quite sure what they want to do for a career. But more often, there's actually areas that interest them. And so it's more about seeing how a degree could lead you towards exploring those interests and ultimately deciding in a career in those areas. So I like to say, think about all your interests, both academic and non-academic. Maybe you're really passionate about sustainability or basketball. All of those give us insights into what you're passionate about and how engineering can help you get there. So I put in here some of our grand challenges for society, things like energy. Do you like thinking about how our energy needs will be met in the future? What about environment and its intersection with energy? What about building better health, new vaccines, or new prosthetics? What about some of the genomic modeling that's going on? What about infrastructure for increasing populations? How are our cities going to adapt as our population increases? Ultimately, there's a lot of different ways to explore engineering, and I think it's better to focus on the problem you want to solve rather than the major that you want to be. Engineering disciplines are fairly broad with a lot of overlap. And so it's a lot easier to think about the problem you want to work on and make sure that your major will help you get there. All right, lastly, how do you go about exploring some of your options? So I put in here a picture. This is an artist rendering of our new STEM building, which is currently under construction. The idea behind this building is that we are going to converge engineering and science to build a new design and innovation center. And so this is our new idea. But there's a lot of other ways to open your mind and find new interests. This might be through something like study abroad. We commonly get the question, can engineers study abroad? Yes, they can. In fact, following this link here will help you understand more about our study abroad program. Engineers do study abroad, and in fact, it's a fairly large number of them. We tend to have students study abroad during their fall junior year. This is the best time to get the most bang for your buck, considering that we're on the quarter system. Most of the global community is on semesters. Studying abroad can give you valuable experience. In this increasingly globalized industry, international experience helps you understand communication, marketing, and other engineering skills around the world. Ultimately, you should plan to take 2 or 3 courses that can count towards your major or your minors during your study abroad experience. Other things that you can do include student clubs and organizations. Again, following the link here, you could get a full list of all of our organizations. These are a few examples of our clubs. Things like Theta Tau, which is our co-ed professional fraternity. We have Engineers Without Borders that travel internationally and go bring technologies to communities in need. We have the Society of Women Engineers, one of our large active societies for supporting our women engineers. And things like the Maker Club takes place in the Maker Lab and helps you learn skills in rapid prototyping. Lastly, you could do research. This is another great way to expand your interests and develop your engineering skills. These are images from our research showcase that takes place once a year, usually in the spring. And again, if you're interested in research and how it might fit with your experience at SCU, you can follow these links to learn more. So I hope you understand a little bit more about what undeclared engineering means at Santa Clara. It gives you more time to explore your interests. It gives you time to interact with things like student clubs and organizations or research. And you still have all of the opportunities available to our other engineering students. As always, let me know if you have any questions. You can reach me, Jes Kuczenski, at jkuczenski@scu.edu. Hope to hear from you soon.